Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In a stunning twist that has sent shockwaves through the Sister Wives fandom and reignited long-simmering tensions within the fractured Brown family, Meri Brown has allegedly come forward claiming that Kody Brown and Robyn Brown actively tried to silence her, an accusation that cuts to the heart of the drama that has defined the family's unraveling over the past several years and throws new light on the emotional, psychological, and spiritual battles Meri faced behind the scenes. As fans re-examine old footage, cryptic Instagram posts, couch confessional whispers, and pointed remarks from the few Brown family members who still remain active on social media, it becomes increasingly clear that the split between Meri and the rest of the Browns was not just a slow emotional drift, but a deep, intentional fracture that may have involved pressure, manipulation, and attempts to control the narrative. According to insiders and speculation swirling among fans close to the situation, Meri's recent hints, delivered in carefully worded captions, tear-filled lives, and a series of not-so-subtle likes on TikTok, suggests that Kody and Robyn allegedly went out of their way to prevent her from telling her truth about her marriage, the family structure, and what she says really happened when the cameras stopped rolling. As this new, silencing claim gains traction, people are questioning everything they thought they knew about Meri's role in the family, her exit from the plural marriage, and why she stayed silent for so long while Kody publicly dismissed her, minimized her feelings, and allowed rumors to grow unchecked. The picture emerging now is far more complex. Meri, once the family's dutiful first wife, seems to suggest she was expected to be the obedient one, the one who didn't rock the boat, didn't talk back, didn't challenge the narrative that Kody and Robyn were building, and didn't speak up even when she felt completely erased from the family she helped build from the ground up. And now, for the first time, she appears to be hinting, loudly, that her silence was not voluntary. Fans have long suspected that Meri didn't simply drift away but was pushed, sidelined, and left isolated as the family dynamics shifted dramatically toward Kody's singular devotion to Robyn. But these new claims paint a far darker picture, one where Meri may have been pressured to keep quiet about the cracks forming in the family foundation, the favoritism that became impossible to hide, and the private conversations that allegedly left her feeling stripped of her place in the family hierarchy. In one recent live that caught the fandom's attention, Meri's voice cracked as she spoke about the importance of telling your story even when others don't want you to, a line that many viewers interpreted as a direct reference to Kody and Robyn sending strong signals, allegedly, to keep her in check. The timing was suspicious, especially as it came shortly after she posted a cryptic message about those who fear your voice because your truth exposes their lies. Within minutes, social media lit up with speculation. Was Meri finally calling out Kody and Robyn? Was this her moment to step fully into her truth after years of feeling muted, ignored, and brushed aside? Viewers who have followed the Browns since the earliest seasons know that Meri has always been the one willing to shoulder blame, apologize first, step back, and avoid confrontation, even when she had every right to call out hurtful behaviors. But these new whispers indicate that beneath her calm exterior, there may have been years of pressure, from both Kody and Robyn, to stay silent about the emotional neglect, the favoritism, and the deep sense of family abandonment she experienced. One of the most shocking suggestions gaining traction is that, according to insiders, Kody and Robyn allegedly feared Meri's side of the story, particularly because she was the wife who had been with him the longest, the one who understood the family from its roots, and the one who had been there before Robyn entered the picture and dramatically shifted the household balance. Fans point out that Kody has always been visibly uncomfortable when Meri brings up emotional topics, especially when those topics reflect poorly on him. From dismissing her longing for closeness to accusing her of creating problems, Kody repeatedly placed responsibility for the breakdown of their marriage entirely on Meri's shoulders, all while praising Robyn for being the loyal and obedient wife. Now, with Meri hinting that her silence was something Kody and Robyn allegedly encouraged or demanded, viewers are relooking at scenes where Meri appeared hesitant, closed off, or unwilling to speak. Were those moments actually the result of pressure? Was Meri discouraged from expressing the full extent of her hurt because it threatened the carefully crafted story the family wanted to present to the public? If the allegations implied in her recent statements are true, then the family's behind-the-scenes dynamics could be far more controlling than fans previously imagined. What truly intensifies the shock is the implication that Robyn may have played a larger role than previously understood. While Kody has often been portrayed as the driving force behind the emotional disconnection from Meri, fans point to moments where Robyn's influence seemed quietly woven through major family decisions. Robyn has repeatedly said she wanted a close, sisterly connection with the other wives, but many viewers believe her actions, both subtle and overt, often had the opposite effect. Now, with Meri's recent claims, fans are speculating that Robyn may have encouraged Kody to silence Meri to keep the family narrative smooth and conflict-free, at least on the surface. Some even suggest Robyn may have feared that Meri speaking out could undermine her position as Kody's primary partner, especially during the pandemic years when the favoritism grew impossible to hide. Robyn's insistence that she was misunderstood or unfairly blamed now faces renewed scrutiny as Meri's claims suggest the possibility that Robyn played a strategic role in pressuring Meri to keep family issues within the family, a phrase viewers remember from multiple episodes. If Meri was indeed pushed to remain silent about things that hurt her deeply, the weight of that emotional burden paints a heartbreaking picture of a woman who endured years of invisibility in a family she once believed in wholeheartedly. Meri's fans are urging her to go public with all the details, arguing that she deserves to reclaim her narrative and tell the story from her perspective rather than letting Kody and Robyn control the script. Many believe that her new business ventures, her confident social media presence, and her recent travels show a woman finally shedding the constraints of a relationship that stifled her emotionally and spiritually. But her latest claims hint that, even now, she may be nervous about the potential fallout of speaking too boldly, suggesting that the pressure to stay silent lasted far longer than anyone realized. Some speculate that non-disclosure agreements or emotional intimidation may be at play, though Meri has not explicitly referenced anything of the sort. What she has done, however, is speak repeatedly about regaining her voice, healing through truth, and releasing the fear of people who want to distort your story to protect themselves. These subtle messages are now seen as coded responses to Kody and Robyn allegedly discouraging her from being transparent about the pain she endured. Meanwhile, Kody and Robyn have remained publicly quiet about the speculation, which only fuels fan theories. Their silence, rather than calming the situation, has created a vacuum that fans continue to fill with questions. Were they afraid Meri might reveal? Why haven't they defended themselves or clarified the situation? Are they hoping the rumors blow over, or is there truth behind the idea that they didn't want Meri speaking out in the first place? Viewers recall how Kody openly criticized Christine and Janelle when they left, accusing them of betraying the family, yet his response to Meri's departure was oddly muted, almost distant, as if he hoped to avoid prompting her into revealing more. That difference in reaction now feels suspicious to fans who wonder whether Kody feared triggering a public response from Meri that could shed light on aspects of the family dynamic he has long tried to keep hidden. As this explosive storyline continues to unfold across social media, podcasts, and fan forums, one thing has become abundantly clear: Meri's days of quiet submission are over. She has evolved into a woman who understands the power of her truth, the importance of her story, and the strength she's gained from stepping out of a spiritual marriage that left her feeling erased. Whether or not she chooses to reveal the full extent of the alleged silencing attempts, her subtle but powerful hints already suggest a deeper, darker layer of family dynamics that viewers were never shown on camera. Her willingness to speak, however cautiously, signals a shift not only in her personal journey but also in the public understanding of what life inside the Brown family may have truly been like. And as fans wait breathlessly for her next move, one thing is absolutely certain: Meri Brown is no longer afraid to reclaim her voice, and whatever she reveals next could forever change the way Sister Wives fans view Kody, Robyn, and the entire legacy of a family once portrayed as united, loving, and spiritually bound. And with Meri's newfound boldness, The Sister Wives fan base is bracing for what many believe will be the most revealing chapter yet in the Brown family saga, because every new hint she drops only intensifies the belief that she spent years protecting people who were never interested in protecting her. The idea that Kody and Robyn may have tried to silence her is no longer seen as a wild theory, but as a puzzle piece that suddenly makes dozens of past moments make sense. The awkward pauses in Tell All specials, the moments when Meri would glance off camera as if measuring how far she could go, the way she often prefaced emotional confessions with disclaimers, or the way her voice would break right at the moment she seemed ready to reveal something deeper. Fans now believe that these were not simply signs of emotional discomfort, but cues that Meri knew there were boundaries she was not supposed to cross. And when viewers revisit Kody's behavior, his explosive defensiveness, finger-pointing, and readiness to rewrite history when confronted, it becomes easier to believe that Meri's claims about being silenced have real weight. Even Robyn's repeated pleas for love from the family now look different to fans, who speculate that the pleas were more about optics than genuine connection. If Meri felt she was being controlled, discouraged from sharing her lived experience, or pressured to maintain an image that didn't reflect reality, then Robyn's insistence that she wanted a sisterly bond with the wives might have been overshadowed by private conversations that told a different story altogether. Adding more fuel to the fire is the fact that Meri's latest business live streams and retreats have centered heavily around themes of empowerment, reclaiming your personal story, breaking free from cycles of control, and refusing to let others dictate your truth. While she never mentions Kody or Robyn by name, the timing and content of her messages make it nearly impossible not to draw parallels. Her posts about the freedom that comes when you finally stop living according to someone else's script resonate deeply with fans who watched Meri spend over a decade shrinking herself, dismissing her needs, and accepting crumbs of affection from a husband who made no effort to hide his disinterest. Even her closest supporters say there's a visible difference in her energy, a brightness, a confidence, a sense of peace that simply wasn't there during the later seasons of the show. They believe this transformation is the direct result of Meri no longer being bound by the emotional, verbal, and spiritual constraints she felt in her marriage, and the alleged pressure to stay quiet about those constraints. Meanwhile, discussions about whether Kody and Robyn are worried about what Meri might reveal have reached a fever pitch. Some fans believe that Meri's subtle statements are a warning shot, a way of letting them know that she won't remain quiet forever. Others think she is laying the groundwork for a future tell-all memoir, something several fans have begged her to write for years. A book from Meri would be explosive, not only because of her insider perspective, but because she was present for every major transition in the family, from the early poverty years, to the Vegas move, to the collapse of their unity, to the rise of Kody and Robyn's dominating partnership. If Meri confirmed that she was pressured to soften certain storylines, avoid sharing certain truths on camera, or prevent the public from knowing the full extent of the emotional neglect she experienced, it could fundamentally reshape the public's perception of the Brown family and potentially damage the reputation of both Kody and Robyn in a way they may never recover from. After all, Meri has always been the loyal one, the one fans believed would never betray the family, even after being pushed out emotionally. If she were to reveal a silencing campaign, it would carry far more credibility than accusations from anyone else. What's making fans even more curious is the quietness coming from the rest of the Brown family. Christine and Janelle, both of whom left the marriage and have since rebuilt their lives, have not commented on Meri's hints, but their silence is seen by some fans as telling. Did they know Meri was being pressured to stay silent? Did they themselves experience something similar? Did Meri confide in them now that she's finally free from Kody's household influence? Some speculate that a united front among the ex-wives may be forming, one built not out of vengeance, but out of shared healing. Christine's recent statements about finding peace outside chaos and Janelle's posts about breaking cycles of emotional control have taken on new meaning in the context of Meri's allegations. Even if they're not speaking directly about the situation, fans believe all three women may be telling parallel stories through the metaphorical language of empowerment and personal rebirth. As for Kody and Robyn, their silence has created a vacuum that invites speculation. Some believe they are intentionally staying quiet to avoid escalating the situation, knowing that any defensive posture could push Meri to speak even more openly. Others suspect the couple may be strategizing, perhaps fearful that Meri holds stories or experiences that could undercut the image they've been trying to maintain for years. After all, Kody has repeatedly framed himself as the victim, the misunderstood husband whose wives failed him, whose leadership was rejected, whose efforts were unappreciated. But Meri's version of events, if fully revealed, could expose a very different picture, one of manipulation, emotional neglect, and a power imbalance that left her stripped of her identity inside a marriage she entered with hope and devotion. Fans are bracing for the moment Meri finally decides she's ready to share everything, because if the hints she's dropping now are any indication, she has held back far more than anyone ever realized, and what she reveals could permanently shift the sister wives narrative, turning a once quiet first wife into the most powerful truth-teller the Brown family has ever seen.